Well, welcome everybody. I will call to order the January 12th Regional Council meeting and take a moment to acknowledge that the Northern Rockies Administration Center is located in the heart of the traditional territory of the Dene, Cree, and Denesaw people of Fort Nelson and Prophet River First Nations. We further recognize the rights provided by our treaty and also celebrate the contributions and the enduring presence of the Métis people in our region. Please be advised that tonight's meeting is available for the public to attend virtually, is being streamed and recorded. Are there any additions, Council? CAO?
No, Deputy Mayor.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the public that you see? Okay. Seeing none, item 4, adoption of the agenda. Special Regional Council meeting of December the 8th at noon. Special Regional Council meeting December 8th at 5 p.m. The public hearing December the 8th. Those are all 2025, by the way. Regional Council meeting of December 8th of 2025. Before we get a motion to adopt those, there was an error in that December 8th meeting. There was a comment that Councillor Roper made that was attributed to me. So November 28th attended Career Week session for Miss Sparshue's grade 8s. Thanked CAO Barry and staff. Students toured the municipal building. That comment should be attributed to Councillor Roper, not to me. Okay. And the last set of minutes would be the Committee of the Whole, December 15th. So looking for adoption.
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Roper. Seconded. It's going to be that kind of a meeting, people. Seconded by Councillor Enox. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Yep.
Can we adopt the agenda, please?
Oh, did I miss that? Sorry. Oh, I so did. Okay, let's go back to item number 4. Adoption of the agenda. Motion by Councillor Enoch, seconded by Councillor Souls. All those in favor, motion carries. Thanks. Okay, any business arising from the minutes? Okay. Seeing none, moving on to reports, bylaws, and policies. 7.1, admin report number 01. Re-establishment of a select committee of council, primary care, stabilization. Miss Penny.
Good evening, Deputy Mayor and Council members. Tonight I'm presenting a report recommending the establishment of a select committee of council focused on primary care stabilization in the Northern Rockies. The goal is to create a structured forum to examine risks, options, partnerships, and governance models related to sustaining primary care. Primary care in Fort Nelson is currently delivered through a privately owned clinic. Several emerging factors increase uncertainty. Anticipated physician departure starting summer 2026. 2-year delay on the decision of the alternative payment plan model. Ongoing recruitment challenges common to rural and remote communities. Early discussions with Northern Health about potential future service models. Recent partner discussions highlight need for structured, time-bound planning. Primary care delivery is not a municipal mandate. However, in rural and remote regions, municipalities often act as conveners and planners. This aligns with council's strategic priorities and past practices such as recruitment, the READY program, CT initiative. So why a select committee? Authorized under Section 142 of the Community Charter, councils are permitted to establish and appoint a select committee to consider or inquire into any matter and to report its findings and opinion to the council. This provides transparency, defines scope and timelines, objective analysis, not ad hoc decision-making, inclusion of physicians and invested parties, and respects the clinic ownership by focusing on community-wide planning inclusive of physician input. Committee mandate would be to examine options to stabilize future primary care, including governance and partnership models, service delivery, structures used in other communities, infrastructure considerations if relevant, and engagement partners such as physicians, Doctors of BC, Province of BC, Northern Health, First Nations Health Authority, Fort Nelson First Nations, Prophet River First Nations, plus other stakeholder groups. They will report back to council with findings and recommendations. Staff anticipate that a budget allocation would be required to support additional capacity for research, facilitation, and external expertise such as consultant support. Any funding would be subject to council approval through the appropriate budget process. A terms of reference will be drafted for council review before launch. The benefits of this recommendation would be taking proactive approach before physician departures occur, coordinate engagement with partners, reduce risk of service disruption, and support council's strategic goals in health and community resilience. The risks must manage the expectations. NRRM is not assuming provision of primary care, requires time and capacity from council and staff, work is exploratory, and may not yield one preferred solution. However, to mitigate the risk, there will be clear terms of reference, scope, timelines, and communication. So in closing, this approach allows the NRRM to be proactive, collaborative, and systematic in safeguarding community health services. I'd like to thank you for your time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Great. Okay. Opening it up for discussion. Are there any comments from council? That's a lot of information, I know. So any questions or comments? Nothing. Okay. Oh, Mayor, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. And thank you for the report. I think it's clear. It gets the point across very well. This is not something that we're responsible for, but I don't trust Northern Health to get this right. And you've heard me say multiple times that healthcare is, it's a cornerstone of the sustainability of our community. And, we know there's some issues coming up, a lot of issues coming up with healthcare. We've been focused on them, for the past 3 years, and we've been doing pretty good. But, with the primary care issues, I guess, with respect to doctors and, the clinic and the viability of the clinic, the future of the clinic, we really need to get this right. And I certainly would like to see us open this up to a committee of council and to the public so that we can get the right people talking to us about what the future of healthcare could look like, particularly primary care in the community. We've got the other things that we're working on with respect to seniors care and those, but primary care is that key piece. It leads to the hospital and the use of the hospital and whether we get a hospital in the future. What does the clinic look like? How many doctors do we have? How do we keep them? How do we keep nurses? All of it. So I'm excited to see this report. I'm saddened that we have to get involved to this degree, but I think it's beholden on us to do it because I don't think Northern Health cares enough about our community. Maybe I'll just say it that way, to get it right. And so those are my thoughts, and I certainly would like to hear everybody else's and try to move this forward. Thanks.
Thanks, Mayor. Councillor Souls.
I thank you for this report as well, and I put it into a bit of a word picture, and it's sort of like succession planning in a sense, and it's for community's sake that you do it, even though it isn't our responsibility. You don't want to see the process, the family of healthcare network that exists completely fall apart for lack of having a coordinated viewpoint toward the future. And so in a sense, I believe that by participating, we're offering a service in our own interests for stability looking forward. And I just, I find this year has been really an interesting year. And when you watch the Kenyans pull out of Fort Nelson and gone, that was the representation of the earliest generation of the doctor world here. It's not the absolute earliest, but very representative of it. And Now we're watching the full cycle of the second generation of healthcare, and with it, a lot of private clinics and that are disappearing in Western world, not just here. And so I think it's really important that we do things like this, because otherwise we're just leaving the chips fall where they may. And I appreciate what you say, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Schultz. Councillor Roper?
Yeah, great report. I think it's a worthwhile initiative. Just a question about the budget allocation potential. Do we have a ballpark as to what expectations might be required for a budget for this committee? What kind of expenditures we could expect?
I can speak to that generally. We don't have a good grip on it until council provides some direction in terms of the direction you want to go. But given the discussions we've had internally and with in regards to what a path forward might look like in terms of the time frame, it's going to take a robust amount of capacity to just because of the timing, right? And that's the select committee's bookended. So from internal capacity, we have a little bit of freeboard with someone like Diana, who's agreed to take more time on per week, because currently we're not maximizing. When I say maximize, we're not. There's some more hours in the work week because she's a 30-hour work week currently, so that would be an additional potential additional or funding required there, and then an external resource that would help facilitate and help manage the process again, because it's going to take a lot of committee meetings would be one thing. Outside those committee things, lots of activities, things will materialize quickly. So, I mean, I can throw round numbers out there, but it's going to be, it potentially could be in that $50,000 range, if not more, quite frankly. But again, that's just spitballing based on just very, very round numbers in my head based on what it looks like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I would put my support behind a budget increase, so long as that budget increase doesn't shortchange us in other parts, other ways from the rest of the budget. So yeah, I'm all for this, but cognizant of the fact that our tax base is decreasing, and we had an interesting budget season last year, and I wouldn't want to see something fall by the wayside for a new initiative, although as important as it is. So I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. If we're going forward with increasing the budget, we're not doing so by decreasing the budget in other ways.
Okay, thank you.
May I just
Go ahead.
Some of the things we've talked about just to help mitigate those things is there's a budget in the health file that wasn't fully utilized, so there's an opportunity to potentially pull some funds forward for that. I'll call it a Doug Blackie fund, because that's what we use it for. Typically the passes for Doug, when Doug was for the consulting perspective. And then council also has an advocacy when the coalition disbanded a couple of years ago, council kept the budget from an advocacy perspective to allow you to do advocacy. So I mean, those are certain things, not that council, and those are decisions that need to be made tonight. We'll bring that forward later, but there are some potential options to help mitigate, I'll call it new tax dollars in the new year, to help offset that budget perspective that we can discuss further with council too.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. Did you have anything, Councillor? Okay. Well, I mean, I'll give my comments much the same as the mayor is, like I always say time and time again, nobody's coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. We, just had several occurrences in our committee last week that if our hospital hadn't been open, the outcome would have been much different. So, I think, as tight as money is, I think that this would be money well spent. And I feel confident that staff and the committee will keep the expenditures as tight as they possibly can. There's a lot of work that's already been done, and it's just a matter of ensuring that none of those pieces are missing and bringing all of that work together and then compiling it into some sort of digestible material and then presenting that to the committee and so that decisions can be made with the most up-to-date information that's out there. So that's, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. So I'm looking at the option before us. Is anybody interested in making a motion? Mayor? Sorry.
Thank you. I had one question before we started, Deputy Mayor Gerwing. Would you be interested in chairing this committee? Please.
Sure.
Thank you. Then I would move that the Northern Rockies Primary Care Planning Committee be established to examine primary care stabilization in Northern Rockies Regional Municipality, including governance, partnership, and service model options, and that a draft of the terms referenced be developed for council's review, and that Deputy Mayor Gerwing be appointed as chair of the committee.
Okay, Mayor and Brenda and Councillor Enax. All those in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Hey, thank you very much, Ms. Penny. That was a wonderful report. It's a lot of information to bring together. Okay, moving on to 7.2, Administration Report 02, 2026 WildSafeBC Community Coordinator Grant Application. Mr. O'Shaughnessy.
Good evening, Acting Mayor, Council, Mayor. This report before you this evening is in relation to supporting the application for the 2026 WildSafe Community Coordinator Program, which is due by February 15th. As I'm sure you're all aware, there wasn't a year-end report given to Council this year from our WildSafe Community Coordinator as per usual. Correspondence with the WildSafeBC Administrative Coordinator, Taryn Argwal, indicated that the 2025 season did not go as WildSafeBC had hoped or planned. And there was a lapse in communication between the organization and the community coordinator. As such, WildSafeBC has offered to extend the grants that we sent for 2025, carry those to 2026 and to cover the cost of the season if we so choose to move forward with an application.
Great, thank you. Mayor, is that a legacy hand? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to put
No,
it down.
that's okay. I did have a question. I wondered if there was any in your discussions with WildSafe, would there be an opportunity for the next hire if the municipality could have any involvement in that?
My last communication with Taryn was I made the humble suggestion that municipalities be involved in the hiring process as the local knowledge and those things pay dividends in the end. And he said he would bring it to his superiors and see what comes of it. There was no guarantee, yes or no.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, so there's a recommendation before us.
I recommend that the application to the 2026 WildSafeBC Community Coordinator Program be submitted, recognizing that WildSafeBC will waive the NRRM's annual contribution for $6,000 for the 2026 season.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Enax. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Okay, report number 3, recruitment of chief election officer for the 2026 general local elections. Ms. McIver.
Thank you. So the report is for council's information. So it just speaks to the proposed approach for this coming election year to break the mold, if you will, in terms of the staff that would be responsible for looking after the election process. So in as many past years as I can recall, or those before me the elections have been run by internal staff, and just acknowledging some of the realities of this coming year, workloads, organizational changes we're looking at budgeting for, and recruiting, hopefully successfully, a chief election officer for the 2026 general local election. We would propose that we would appoint a deputy chief election officer from inside the organization to ensure that continuity. But given the legislated nature of the role, it would be suited to be recruited from outside the organization, and it's a practice that many other local governments and school districts use as well. So, council has any questions?
Okay. Council, what are your thoughts? I think the mayor, do you have your hand up? Sorry.
No,
Oh, okay. Councillor Souls.
When I read this, I thought, I wonder what Heather's doing.
Okay, so you're not looking for a decision tonight, you're just kind of feeling it out?
Yeah,
So-
and I think also just acknowledging the appointment of the election officer is a council responsibility. So we wanted to be able to give you the heads up that that's the approach, and we'll see what we come up with. So there might be the case. We'll see what we get for candidates, and there might be a further discussion from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's if there isn't capacity within the organization, then I mean, I think, there isn't capacity within the organization, so.
An election's not optional.
Yeah, and the election is not optional. For sure, it's not optional.
There'll have to be some kind of a solution. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, it's gonna take additional resources, I guess, is the conclusion. So
Mhm.
we'll approach it this way and see what comes back, and depending on the success of this approach, we may have a future discussion. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Any comments, questions, council? Okay, seeing none then, thank you very much. Moving on to report to the official community plan, bylaw number 242. Oh man, glad to see this.
Good evening, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and Council. So this report in front of you is presented for the third reading and the adoption of the NRRM Official Community Plan Bylaw number 242, 2025. The bylaw was given first reading and second reading on November 24th of 2025, followed by the public hearing on December 8th of 2025. We did receive referral responses from the Agricultural Land Commission as well as the Ministry of Transportation and Transit. We have incorporated their feedback into the updated proposed official community plan in front of you, as well as provided a comparison document for the substantial changes that has been proposed for council to assist with the review of the changes. That said, the statutory requirements of this plan has been satisfied, and the bylaw is ready for the third reading and adoption.
Excellent, thank you very much. Much gratitude. Okay. Are there any questions or clarifications? Or are we, Mayor, go ahead.
thank you. Comment more than anything. I also would like to thank everybody who was involved, the steering committee, as well as all the staff, and any members of the public who are out there and maybe listening or might listen in the future who participated. Official community plan is really the basis of your planning moving forward in any community, and it's certainly it's something that needs to be fresh. It needs to be, I guess, according to the recommendation, at least every 5 years we should be reviewing it. And this one now is within the context of the community as it stands today, instead of as it stood in 2010 or whatever the last one was put together and reviewed in the mid-teens. So a big job. big process, and I really want to thank everybody who was involved because I think you did a great job. So thank you for that.
Thanks, Mayor. I was going to add that I wonder if we can make sure that we send out thank you letters to the active committee members that took part in creating this document.
For sure, I'll do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm looking for somebody to move this. Councillor Roper, sorry.
I would move the recommendation that the Northern Rockies Regional Municipality Official Community Plan Bylaw number 242, 2025 be given third reading and adoption.
Excellent, thank you. And seconded by Councillor Enax. All those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, yay. That's exciting. Thank you, Rada. Yes, and thank you for all your work. All right. So we are moving on to correspondence and information. For discussion, there is the letter from Dennis Thomson. Was there any further discussion on that? We did, and I don't know whether everybody received a copy of the letter. The letter has been written and sent to BC Hydro, and it didn't make this agenda package, but it will be on the January 26th agenda. Okay.
I think this might have been added because it was a late addition to the last package.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So we're clear on that one. And then next before us is a letter from Northern Lights College, Floyd Bertrand, asking us to appoint a certain person to their advisory committee. And while I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but I'm just going to air my opinion right now, and then I'll give us a chance to discuss it. Well, I feel that I'm grateful that they are striking an advisory committee. I'm a little bit unsure about how I feel where they have asked for a certain person to represent us at their advisory committee. I feel it might be more appropriate for council to decide who they want representing us at this advisory committee. Not to say I don't agree with their suggestion, but I was just a little taken aback. I hadn't ever seen that before, where there was an organization was. Why are you laughing at me over there?
I'm just laughing at this. I'm surprised that you're surprised after the way our last meeting went that they didn't want you or I to sit on that committee.
Well, okay. I was trying to be polite, but and just to remind everybody that Councillor Enax is on the board of Northern Lights College,
Yes.
and she holds the education portfolio. So it would seem to me that that would be a really good fit for this committee. But anyways, I'm just going to let everybody else talk now. Councillor Souls.
I was surprised that you were surprised.
Trying to be polite, people.
And anyway, it's lovely and it's just, I think the in the same way as it's fairly obvious to the rest of us who would be chosen by the council to sit on the health guide committee that we just did a few minutes ago. And we didn't have that laid out to us beforehand either, because it was a fairly obvious choice. And I think that with Hillary's involvement, that I would actually recommend that she takes this anyway. I think it's
I just don't know that, I don't even know that anybody has spoken to the Mr. Berry.
Yeah, excuse me. I just want to add, so Hillary's away currently, and so is Lisa. So I haven't been able to confirm. This rolled in just before Christmas and delivered. I don't even know if they've seen it. I can't even confirm. It says it's CC'd to Hill, but I don't know if you've seen it. So
yeah,
I haven't had the opportunity to chat with either Lisa or Hillary about the letter and even around capacity, or for that matter, Hill is even interested. Because I don't know the
or has the
behind it.
capacity.
Exactly.
Right, might be something that council can can attend on behalf of the NRRM, right? And so that then that frees up some capacity on the staff level. But I see Mayor Fraser, you have your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to suggest that I agree that it's not up to them to appoint, or even request, who should be appointed to this thing. And, I think Hillary is appropriate from a staff perspective, providing that it fits into the overall, work processes of that department. But I would suggest that if it's possible that she does that, she represents staff, and that Councillor Enax represents us as a council, and we just tell them, yeah, we're going to participate, but we want to participate at several levels within our organization, staff and council. And if it's not appropriate that Hillary has the time, then we look at this differently and let staff decide if they can be represented on this committee. But I think we should take an approach of just saying, we want two representatives here because we have two different approaches.
Okay, excellent idea. So if council is in agreement with that, do we want to send correspondence back to them after Mr. Berry has had time to talk to staff? And I mean, sorry, Ms. Thompson Ms. Thompson might have another suggestion of a staff member within that department. Like, go ahead, Mayor.
Thank you. I just can we defer a discussion on that, or a decision on this till the next meeting? Is there time?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. We'll do that. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 8.3 is letter from Brad Bramhill, BMK Piling and Anchor. So I don't know that everybody is up to date on what's gone on with Mr. Bramhill's letter, but I'll just give you a little overview. So Mr. Bramhill sent a letter sent an email wondering about the project that was undertaken and managed by the Northern BC Tourism Association in terms of those signs that are going out at the rec center. And because his company could do that type of work, and he was wondering why it wasn't a local company that was doing that. So I forwarded Mr. Bramhill's concerns on to April Moy, Destination Development Manager for Northern BC Tourism Association, who responded back to me on December 31st. Yeah, because all of this was going on December 29th and the 30th. And then she responded back on the 31st that her team was out for the holidays and would get back to us. She got back to us today. And I think everybody on council has received a copy of the email where she responded back. And also Ms. McIver has given you a written copy. So wanted to take a moment. Mayor, did you get it too?
I did. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Excellent. So just wanted to take a moment to have a discussion about this. I have my own thoughts on it, but I'm wondering if anybody else has any questions or concerns as to the process that maybe Destination BC takes in terms of coming into a community and doing work. Yeah. Councillor Roper?
Yeah, I heard from at least one other company as well that was disappointed that the locals didn't have an opportunity to at least bid. I mean, we can't guarantee that locals will get work from projects like this, but there should be there should absolutely be some policies in place when we're partnering with other organizations to ensure that locals at least have a chance. So I'm disappointed. I'm also a little disappointed in the reply from
April.
From April. It doesn't quite answer or address our concerns, I don't think. So, yeah.
Good, thank you. Okay, so I have like a few concerns as well as like, what does their procurement process look like? And like, do they use BC bids and tender where everybody has the opportunity to go on there and check it all out? But I think Mr. Berry informed me that they do not use that. So if they don't use that, then what do they use? I would like to know that. And then the other part in this, in her email back to us, it said that a local Fort St. John company was chosen, and part of it was the proximity of that company to the Fort St. John office. And I wondered, I would like some clarification on why that's part of the decision-making process. It's a regional project. I think there's 8 different sites. So why does the contractor have to be in the area of the destination or Northern Destinations BC office? Was kind of confusing to me. So those were 2 of my main concerns. I'm wondering, Mayor, did you have anything to add?
All of the above comments are appropriate, and the only other thing I would add is that as part of any letter that we send to them, we let them know that we have a process here where of being able to advertise third-party opportunities, and they can go through our website, and we'll certainly spread the word around for any work that's potentially in the region. If they're not using BC Bid, then I agree. What are they using, and how are they ensuring that the entire region gets an opportunity? I don't think this cost us anything, but the fact of the matter is it did cost us time, because we participated in what would go on those signs. This project's been ongoing for quite a long time, since I was still at the regional district, and we started the project with the Gotta Go. That's when this was initially discussed. But once they came to a conclusion of what the signs look like and how they're going to be engineered, then for sure it should have gone out to everybody.
Okay,
So I agree with any letter that we send. I agree with.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Souls?
We have to somehow reflect that expectation in our policies too.
Yes.
And I'll say that we've seen this many times before, especially in the oil and gas history, where we used to have the same thing happening on a really grand scale, where local procurement meant Calgary, and companies were coming out of Alberta and not hiring anyone local at all, trucking companies and drilling companies and everything, while we had them sitting in town. And I recall some of the subsequent flights that took place by a previous mayor, who was pounding on desks in Calgary and making everyone know for sure that there were people here who could do some services. So anyway, yes, this is actually this is a relatively small scale event like this, but it's an important one to remind us of why it matters to have our eyes on that ball, to make sure that anyone we're working with provides local hire.
Yeah, great.
Or the opportunity. The opportunity.
Yes. Yep. And I think the mayor makes the point, Councillor Souls, you made the point, Councillor Roper, you made the point, I tried to make the point. So I think we're all of the same mind, is local, like there has to be an opportunity. But I think like we need to look at what we're doing too, right? So if we're in allowing something to happen in the NRRM, then we want to know what their procurement process is ahead of time, and we could maybe prevent something like this from happening again. So if we look at what our procedures are in terms of being involved with a third party coming into the NRRM to establish something. Okay. So I hear that we are going to draft some sort of a letter with any of those points that Ms. McIver has furiously written down. And also this conversation has all been so yes. Is that what we want? Do you need a motion? Okay, so I would make a motion that we respond back to April Moy, Destination Development Manager for Northern BC Tourism Association, around the issue that I'm looking for the company name. BMK Piling and Anchor has brought to our attention. And do I have a seconder? Councillor Roper? All those in favor?
Point of discussion.
Yes, Mayor.
Before you vote on it, do we want to see it come back to council? I don't know that I'm comfortable signing off on this letter without the rest of you having a look at it first.
Okay, yeah, can we
Or
do
you-
that via email? Would everybody be
Yes,
comfortable?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, good point. Thank you. Okay, so I'll call the question again. All those in favor? Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Okay. That takes us to correspondence for information. So we had a letter from Ron Paull, Mayor of the City of Quesnel, support for the Prince George North Vancouver Railway engagement. Yeah, that's where that letter was. And then letters from BC City's mayor regarding the M216 Professional Reliance Act. Letter from Miguel Morissetti, Assistant Deputy Minister regarding the 2025 grant in lieu of property taxes. Letters from Trish Manduo, maybe, and Corey Ramsey from UBCM regarding the Canada Community Building Fund payment. Letter from Nikki Sharma, Casey Attorney General for Deputy Premier, read 2025 UBCM meeting. And the Mayor's discretionary report, 2025 Q4, and the grant and aid report. A motion to accept those for information. Councillor Roper, seconded by Councillor Souls. All those in favor, motion carries. Thank you. Okay, on to new business. There were no additions, so I will hand it over to Mayor Fraser regarding item 2.2, Code of Conduct.
Thank you very much. This is something that's been on my mind really since the start of our term. There was several, I guess, policies and processes that I was interested in getting going in this term. The procedure bylaw, the strategic plan, the communication plan, the official community plan, which we just signed off on tonight, which will lead, I'm sure, to the zoning bylaw. And this was one, I think we're probably in violation of the act and that we haven't considered it, but there was a lot of other things that kind of took precedence. The budgets, or all the healthcare discussions that we've had, the government transfer policy, the wildfire, the emergencies. I mean, you name it, so much took precedence. But it was something on my list that I wanted to see us have done before the end of the term. And I had it on my list to bring it up at the start of the new year. If I know staff has been working on it in the background, gathering information, little bits here and there. I would just like to formalize, as per the charter, that we ask staff to bring back a now I
Code
just
of
lost
Conduct.
it. Thank you. A code of conduct
welcome.
document that they can. I mean, there's lots of communities that will have one in place already who have done this. We have something, but I don't think it's robust enough based on what the legislation is asking us to do. So I'd like staff to bring back something to us, and I ask that we formalize that in the form of a resolution tonight, that staff bring back a draft code of conduct for our review.
Is that a motion you're making, Mayor?
That's a motion I'm making. Yeah.
Hey, is there a seconder to that motion? Councillor Enox? Any further discussion? Sorry, I forgot to do that all throughout this meeting, Mayor, but there you go. Councillor Roper.
I think one important highlight of a code of conduct would be a process to receive complaints and both receive complaints and investigate those complaints. So I would like to see that in the report as well.
Okay. Do you want to complaints about what? Do you want to refine or?
Complaints for members breaking the code of conduct. I had to read over the Burnaby code of conduct from their website, and there is a robust process for complaints and investigations. I think that should be included.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. Okay. Did I call the question? I did. All those in favor? Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, 9.3, email poll for ratification to rescind the grant and aid policy A motion that the discretionary grant and aid policy number 47-10 be rescinded, having been replaced by the government transfer policy number 73-25. So I'll make that motion. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Souls, all those in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Standing items for discussion, councillor reports. Are there any?
I do not have
Councillor
one.
Enoch? I'm sorry, Mayor, did you have one? No?
I say I don't have one this week.
Oh, okay. Councillor Enoch.
I'll just just make it real quick. December 3rd, I attended the Casca project meeting. December 4th, I attended the Port Nelson Heritage Society meeting. And December 12th and 13th, I delivered presents for the Ryan Kerr Senior Santa project and attended a meeting in my pickup by phone too.
So we could get quorum.
So you can get quorum. That is same evening, or actually, sorry, on the 15th, I attended the community of the whole, the 2024 actuals. And I'd just like to give an update of the Hudson Holiday Challenge. The last count we have as of today is $7,793 that they raised for
That's
everybody
awesome.
donating $1 for every year they lived in the Northern Rockies.
That's great. Okay, anybody else? I have a very short one. December 3rd and 9th, I attended the Casca Land Use Planning meetings. December 10th, I attended a provincial caribou update, which didn't learn a lot. December 15th, I attended the Fort Nelson First Nations and the NRRM Council Community Forest update. Later that day, I attended the BC Rural Health Network Executive Meeting. December 17th, I attended the RHD meeting. Later that day, I attended the BC Rural Health Network AGM. And then January 8th, I attended the Fort Nelson and District Chamber meeting. And just to note that the BC Chamber AGM is being held in Fort St. John, June 1st to the 3rd. So it's very close to home. We might be interested in attending that. So just wanted to bring that to your attention. And that's my report. Anything else? Okay, seeing none. Any business outstanding? No. Any notice of motions for the next meeting? Seeing none. Public news, media, question and answer period. Anything budget, priorities set by council, council business? No, seeing none. Ms. McIver, do you want me to read this Verizon report, or was it just to appear on the agenda?
Yep, correct. It's a report, so you don't need to, there's no resolutions required.
Perfect. So then I think that takes us to adjournment, right? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Councillor Roper, seconded by Councillor Enoch. All those in favor? Perfect. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.